men make up less than 20% of the Los Angeles Police Department. Linda Allstott and Carolyn Clark used to be two of them, working in different units.
8.5 years I spent on the streets in a uniform in a patrol car. And then after that, I went to internal affairs.
Do you miss the job?
Every single day, I love it.
Two successful careers, until they say they were each sexually harassed by their bosses.
He would do a lot of touching me and touching my shoulders and showing up to a lot of my calls. I'd be speaking to him and he'd glance up and down. You could feel it. You could see it.
Two of Clark's fellow officers, Dave Doros and Elliot Sibley, witnessed the harassment.
He came into the unit and started almost immediately talking about her body.
Dude.
He told him to just knock it off. It has to stop now.
It didn't stop.
No, I would say it doubled down.
In Allstott's case, her supervisor in internal affairs kept asking questions about her personal life.
I flat out told him, that's none of your business. I thought he stopped. He did not. Because weeks later, I found out that I was surveilled to find out who I was dating.
Both women eventually made the tough decision to tell management. Allstott says that's when things got even worse.
My daughter's looking out the window. She says, why are they following you? She says, aren't you the police? Why are the police following you?
Your daughter asked you that?
Yeah. That is the hardest thing to have to explain to a child.
Clark and her colleagues who also reported the harassment felt retribution as well.
Now we can't train when we want to train. We can't train where we want to train.
They did everything they could to retaliate against us.
Ultimately, all four of these former officers sued the city over the harassment and the retaliation.
We either basically turn around and walk away, or we take a stand. Do I teach my son that it's okay to be abused and just shut up about it? And do I teach my daughters that it's okay for men to treat women like that?
Clark settled. The city did not admit wrongdoing, but her male colleagues went to trial and won. The jury found they were retaliated against, and the city paid them $6.7 million. Allstott received nearly $1.9 million, but says it was only a partial victory.
Do you feel like your career was kind of robbed from you? Absolutely. Because I was going to do more.
An NBC News investigation of law enforcement agencies around the country found female officers are often punished for coming forward. A review of 65 sexual harassment cases within the last 5 years in 4 major cities, including LA, cost taxpayers more than $40 million.
You think it's probably a more common experience than is reported? Oh, absolutely.
In a statement, the LAPD says it's untrue that sexual misconduct is rampant and has a zero-tolerance policy for harassment and retaliation, adding, there are individual instances where members of the organization have fallen short of our expectations.
When you look back at how all of this played out, would you have done anything differently? It's really sad to say it, but I would have kept my mouth shut. We did all this, and what came out of it? There's no change. Nothing happened.
Clark is speaking out now because she hopes change is possible. But in these 2 cases, no one accused was fired. Everyone who came forward left the job. Stephanie Gosk, NBC News,